So, good evening, everyone. Excuse my voice. I'm currently going through a cold, so if I sound any different from usual, that's why. So, I've brought you some more cubes. I've got an order from cubeshop.ch, and I'm not fully sure what I ordered, so also a surprise for me. And stay tuned to see what I ordered. If you want to skip to any certain part of the unboxing, there will be timestamps below. So, as I've said, I've brought you a few cubes along the lines of a square one and a few mini cubes. So, I thought I would take you on a journey of unboxing these cubes, and let's go ahead. So, as you guys can see, there are quite some cubes in front of me. I'll be covering every cube in short detail, unboxing it, and going through what's in the box. So, if you're interested in a more detailed review on any of these cubes, let me know, and I'll be sure to take a closer look at those cubes. So, I'd say let's work ourselves up from the bottom. And we'll start with a mini cube. So, I was at Swiss Science Open 2 weeks ago, and there I saw the world's smallest production Rubik's Cube, according to the woman that worked there. Correct me in the comments if I was wrong. And as you can see, I ordered two. One is as a gift, so this wall will stay closed. But we'll take a closer look at one of them, which seems to have a pretty neat opening slot for me to pull. So I'll try to focus as closely as I can, so that you guys can even see the cube. Just as a reference, this is a normal sized 3x3. With a 56mm size, pretty small, and according to the box, 1 centimeter, which is less than half of an inch. So let's give it a try and turn it for the first time. Okay, so it turns, which is a plus, but don't expect anything near of a good performance. Let's say it works, but that's it. But it's more of a gimmick, so I'll just try to keep it somewhere near the box that I don't lose it. And I probably put it on display on my shelf. But it would be a good cube for cubing in class, because you could just hide your cube in the palm of your hand. Or it's really quiet as well, so might be a plus for some people, but don't expect too much from it. It's more of a gimmick. So next up, I'd say let's look at the 2x2. I haven't ordered a 2x2 in quite some time. My current main is the Dian Tengyun V2M, which is a okay cube, but not anything too special and kind of outdated at this point. So I figured I'd order something new. I specifically ordered the WR M 2x2, the Weipo, or the WR S, however MoYu wants to call it. Yeah, so let's open it up and give it a try. And because we have good unboxing manners, let's look at what's in the box before we look at the cube. So, in this little blue box, there are some sticks. I haven't read up on this cube, so that's a shot in the dark, but maybe something to do with the tensioning system, but it looks like a teeny tiny sword. and probably something for the tensioning system or the magnets, but I'll be sure to find it out eventually. Next to that, there is a MoYu screwdriver as usual, but with a cap. Okay, have not seen this before, but if you want to protect your screwdriver, go ahead. So last but not least, let's take a look at the Skewb. Okay, that's definitely not supposed to be like that. Literally, a spring just popped out of the centerpiece. I think you guys can see that. Okay, well, I mean, good quality control, MoYu, I guess. Well, not a very good first impression. I'll be sure to fix that, and yeah, I'll report back to you guys if this Skewb is any good, but, well, disappointment, I guess. So, one step up would be the new WR M. I also have not read up on this Skewb. I just tried it out at some competitions, and it felt good, so I figured I would order it, and let's give it a try. And as for MoYu cubes, as before, we get the typical blue box, which contains the even tensioning system from back in the old days with the GTS 3M, which I do not know if anyone has ever used. I just heard that from the cubicle that these tools are used for evenly tensioning the springs, but I've never seen someone use these, so, well, yeah. And we've got some more of the pencil. I think I might know what these are for. They look like a tool for tensioning the Skewb, but I'm not sure. This is the usual tension tool for the MoYu spring adjustment system, so nothing new. And we also get a screwdriver cap in case you poke yourself with the screwdriver often. So now onto the Skewb, which is in this cool plastic box, which I actually use to display some of my cubes, so not a complete waste of plastic, as some might say. But more importantly, let's take a look what's inside this little box. So this Skewb has a pretty special touch with the purple internals. Not something you see too often, but as I feel a pretty nice addition to this Skewb. So as you guys can hear, this is a very squishy feeling Skewb, but pretty pleasant. Not experienced something like that in quite some time, and maybe a feature that the spring does not pop out like in the Weipo, so not much I can say to this Skewb, but pretty pleasant first feeling, and definitely something that might be suitable for some sort of turning style. Furthermore, if you want a review on this Skewb, just let me know, as I've said. So next up we've got the Weilong Skewb, I have the Skewb and the X-Men Wingy V1, but I thought it might be time to get a new Skewb, so let's try this one out. So let's go for round 3 of these tiny MoYu boxes. In here we have another screwdriver. If you guys want me to do a screwdriver giveaway, let me know, because I do not need like 20 of these screwdrivers, so just hit me up if you need one. As per usual, with these new cubes, I guess we have some tiny swords and the usual pamphlets with the adjustment tool as usual. So here we also have the fancy plastic box, some plastic wrap. So this cube also has the really nice touch of the purple internals, as I've mentioned before, with the 303. It feels very loose, so hopefully this thing does not pop on me, but let's give it a try. So first impressions, this cube feels pretty much exactly the same as the Weipo 2x2 and the WR M 3x3. So nothing too different, pretty swishy as well, and pleasant feeling. But I must say, from first turns, the purple internals are pretty visible, and they're kind of distracting. Especially on the lighter colors. Blue does not really matter, but it gives it more of a purplish vibe, more than blue. And especially on the white side, the purple is quite pronounced, so it might distract some people. So judge that for yourself if it distracts you or not, but it might be a distracting factor for me. So I'll give it a few solves and I'll see if it influences my times or solves. So next up we have another YJ cube. This time I've got a square one. My last square one purchase was in 2020, which was the Volt V2M. I only have 2 square ones previous to this one. As I've said, the Volt V2 and the Volt V1. The V1 was only a magnetic slice cube, but the V2 was a full magnetic with a black side instead of yellow. This one was unfortunately not available with the black side, so I had to get it with white and yellow. But I might as well get used to it again, and let's give it a shot. And as per before, here we have the usual YJ box with included spare parts in black, actually. So never mind what I said. I'll just be able to switch out my yellow tiles for black ones and a screwdriver. And now for the big star, the cube. So this cube definitely feels much more robust than my Volt V2. My Volt V2 constantly felt like a piece was going to break off, but this feels much more like a solid cube and less flimsy. So I definitely have to get used to it due to the completely different feeling, but it should be pretty good after some breaking in and some lubricating. It's pretty dry out of the box and a little bit locky, But yeah, should turn out great. And let's go on to the next cube. And we're already almost at the end of this unboxing with the MGC 555. I've actually still never gotten another 555 after the Valk 5, which was almost 3 years ago. No, even more than 3 years ago. So I figured it was time for some upgrades. So in this little box there is a extra set of magnets and washers and springs, and of course the usual pamphlets. So now let's take a look at the cube itself. First turns. So first impressions, this cube feels quite tight and not really as I would like it to be. Not really my cube at first taste, but it could get better with setup and especially with loosening the tensions, because this cube is way too tight for my turning style, and I'd actually call myself a pretty accurate turner, but this cube just does not corner cut anything near what my Valk does. So yeah, I'll have to probably set up this cube before it's any good. So I feel like it's time to end this video before my voice gives up completely. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, leave me a comment if you want a detailed review, and see you guys soon.